This program is sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hello, everybody out there in Lunchbox land, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, the pre-weekend Friday edition. That's everybody's favorite. I am ready to roll. It is Happy National Oyster Day and Happy National Sandwich Month continues. Gentlemen, guess what's going to be consumed today on the Lunchbox?
I'm so jealous.
I'm thinking the oyster po' boy that you were talking about didn't come from Tom's Louisiana Kitchen, though. Well, that was a scratch. So you were talking earlier this morning about the possibility of being at the pizza spot, which would have been a spectacular because we could have lived doubly vicariously through you. But you picked this up at another place, right?
This is, one of those Fort Lauderdale
Shuck N Dive.
perennials. Here we go. It is the combination
Oh, wow. Look at that.
fried oyster
Great.
with fried shrimp po' boy from Shuck N Dive on
Real
North
deal.
Federal Highway, just north of Broward Boulevard in downtown Fort Lauderdale, right near the Victoria Park, the Tony affluent Victoria Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale. But Shuck N Dive is great. They do a great job. They've been in different locations, so I think they've been around in town over 20 years. And in this location, I'm thinking at least 15 to 20 years. And have you been there, Defo? I know
Yes.
that Lubie has, but
I've been
and,
there, and I like it a lot. It's as close as you can come, I think, in town before we met
Orleans.
Tommy T in the Louisiana Kitchen. But if you're looking for a New Orleans type of fanfare, very, very good at replicating that as if you were in the city itself. And I do remember on one occasion, I'm dining there in some oysters Rockefeller or something along those lines, and I actually ended up at a table next to the great jockey Alex Solis,
nice.
who was back in town. He was a big fan of the Shuck N Dive. So anybody that likes New Orleans, Louisiana fare, always is a big fan of Shuck N Dive, or so it seems.
Now, we love Tom T and Tom Tanazzini, who has his food truck, Tom's Louisiana Kitchen, up there in Boynton, outside of several different breweries. And he's also doing a special. He's going all fancy on us later this month, Defo. And at some point, we'll be talking to him. I want him to get him on the show, but he's going to do a multi-course dinner at a restaurant in Lake Worth. I don't have the details in front of me, but hopefully he'll chime in a minute and let us know. But I think it's going to be like August 25th. I'll get all the accurate details later. That's later in the month. But yeah, he's been a little bit laid up with some physical issues this week. So we took a rain check on having his, and he said instead of the po' boy or the oyster po' boy for Oyster Day later in the month when we get together, he will make us one of his classic New Orleans muffalettas, which is also a great sandwich for Sandwich Month. Now, let me ask you this. When I called in today to Shuck N Dive, right when they opened, and got in there and picked it up, and then my daughter she picked up an acai bowl from Vale Foods right down the block in Fort Lauderdale. You know, these kids today, she did her workout. She's very disciplined. You know, she's working a shift today over at the ice cream parlor where she works at, and Jackson's, we can say it. And then she got up. I took her to the gym this morning, and then we hustled up to the Lauderdale. She got her acai bowl. I got my decidedly less healthy than an acai bowl creation here. So again, they gave a choice: side dish. You want fries, tater tots, coleslaw, or I forgot what the fourth thing was. Maybe potato salad. What would you go for?
You know what? A lot of times they end up opting for the coleslaw. I know it sounds Lubie-esque, and we know that would be the direction that Lubie goes in, since he spent like 6 years endorsing Landlubber's Restaurant and talking almost exclusively about the steamed vegetables, which were, obviously done better there than anywhere else that you can imagine, and the coleslaw, which you would have thought that he lived on coleslaw. But I mean, any of those options sound good. They all do. What about red beans? and
Well, that
rice.
would have been
Yeah.
an add-on, and I was
Side dish.
going for the budget plan because I'm trying to save all my shekels for our outing later today.
Oh,
Hopefully
good.
with Joey Esposito from Cafe Seville. And let me remind everybody out there in the audience, don't go to Cafe Seville this weekend, although we love it, and they're one of our fine sponsors, because you're going to find a locked door. They're closed on vacation all the way up until Monday, August 15th is when they reopen. So Joey's getting a break. He's going to be going out of town to one of our favorite spots, Saratoga Springs, but he's still in town, and we're hoping to rendezvous with him later to maybe have a little bit of simulcast action today. So that's always a fun thing. But Cafe Seville, as much as we'd love it, and they're killing it over there. It's so gratifying to see.
No, I've never
him
been.
and Sally.
I feel
Oh, you
sad
gotta
saying
go.
that. People talked about it for 12 years, and you love them.
We
and
could
they're
settle
never-
the bet
never
there.
gone.
We got to still settle this Panthers bet that I lost, and we were talking about doing it at Tropical Acres. But
Very viable option.
Seville, again, it's going to be closed till the 15th. I don't know if we can wait that long. I've got to get this off my books. I got to clear my books and settle all
New
debts.
fiscal year. Yeah.
You've got to get to Seville, Lubie, because it is just a great place.
Oh, you would love it.
And
yeah.
the Saturday night, they were closing last Sunday, because it's their usual day off. But on the Saturday night, and again, this was, I think, the last weekend in July, used to be the Dead Zone. He told me they did over 200 covers. There's like 220 covers on a Saturday night in the middle of the summer. That's beautiful. So I'm glad to see. Again, it's all on him. Success comes when you put out a great product, and he does some great work over there with his whole staff. Been there a long time. But anyway, I got Tater Tots. That was my side dish.
Tater Tots. Wow,
Tater
That's
Tots.
the thing is, I'm
Yes.
not Mr. Tater Tot, but when they offer Tater Tots, it's like, okay, there's a reason. Like they must have really good Tater Tots.
Usually they just come frozen out of a bag. I don't know. It's not like anybody's making their own house-made tater tots. A couple of, I guess, fancy pants places might, but I don't know. When I hear tater tots, it's that whole nostalgia thing. Brings me back to the days of the lunchroom at elementary school, and I guess maybe that's not necessarily a good memory, but I did always enjoy the tater tots at any cafeteria that I found them. Now,
Always had a little bit of a frozen taste to them. They would come out of a box, and they were never cooked well enough to get that kind of ice frozen taste out of them. And then I have some nightmares about or aversions about tater tots after I went to like a hillbilly wedding. And one of the guys there, his big specialty was his tater tot casserole.
Okay.
So he had tater tots, and he smothered them with cheese. And I have to tell you, Mike Mayo, that it was the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my life. It really was. And he was bragging about this, and everybody was talking about how great it is, and they couldn't wait for this to come out of the kitchen. And the lucky thing was, as the guy was bringing like the main dish that he had made, he had like a couple of little, side dishes left over from, the original portion that he was making. Those came out of the kitchen okay. But my dog at the time actually tripped the guy up. And see, they're both celebrating this. Tripped the guy up, and he dropped the whole tater tot casserole upside down on the ground.
that was a blessing.
So we were spared. Yeah.
Now
We were
wait,
spared.
this hillbilly.
but I
wedding,
don't know. It kind of gave me like an ugly taste about tater
was there
tots in the
alcohol
future.
served at this hillbilly wedding?
Well, of course. I mean, moonshine.
Okay, because
is,
I told you about my worst wedding ever. That was in South Carolina. My colleague Forrest White, the Southern Baptist wedding, and it was a dry wedding. It was all that was served afterwards was sponge cake and fruit punch.
sounds like a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
no,
not
the
any
fruit
bar
punch would have
mitzvah
been
I went to.
Manischewitz, yeah.
My bar
Yeah.
mitzvah had a
Friday
full
night
bar
service.
and all the. This was back in the days when the drinking.
By
age
the
was
way, if I
18.
could turn back the clock, I would want Tom Tanazzini to cater my bar mitzvah.
Yeah,
I
you
would have
could-
gotten rid of
Exactly.
any of the other
How they
people that were
selfish.
affiliated in the food category.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, no, my bar mitzvah, we had the full open bar, and back then, all the like the older siblings would sneak off and get those whiskey sours was the drink of choice.
Oh yeah.
and
Apple
I remember,
sour.
This is where it all began, where I all started going off the rails and starting to drink those whiskey sours on the bar mitzvah circuit when I was 13. So again, don't try this at home. We don't condone this. And now that I have a 17-year-old, I am horrified by the prospect of any underage drinking. All right, so this brings us back to condiments. I'm not going to gross you out by dunking my tater tot in mayonnaise, Defo, but I didn't specify any kind of condiment or coating for this beautiful looking, again, the Shuck N Dive half
I thought
fried
you said
oyster.
it was standard sauce.
I usually think that when I order it, it should come with remoulade sauce that either on it or on the side. Now,
Yeah.
this is on me because I did not ask and I did not receive. I got a
Nothing.
dry sandwich.
Oh, they
Oh.
didn't
A
put
dry
remoulade on?
sandwich.
Fried
And
shrimp on bread with no
and
sauce.
and
No,
and
why would they
and
not
it,
put
a
remoulade
little
on?
bit of lettuce beneath it, which is kind of sad looking. On the side, they put two side. They have banana peppers, which I do like, and the
Yeah.
Bermuda red onions. I don't
Okay.
know if I'm going to put the onions on. I'm definitely going to put the banana peppers on this.
Don't they just automatically put remoulade? It's been a while since
I
I've
would
had
have
it.
thought.
You need to
I
put some
would have.
hot sauce on there or something. I
So
mean,
okay, well, here's what I
Throw
did. If you can
remoulade,
see
it's
behind
sweet.
me, you see there's an array
Yep.
of condiments
That's what
behind
we
me.
do.
yeah.
So what I did, and
Is
I
that
think,
usually set up in your living room or whatever room you're broadcasting out of?
yes,
To
this
have
is
like
my.
a condiment
Normally
tray?
it has condiments.
This
That's
is
my
what
dirty
happens. The gambling
little
gourmet. I
Oh
always
my
have my
God.
condom. No,
You've
actually,
gone nuts.
I took a whole bunch of. This is where Tom T would be proud of me, and
Yes.
I don't follow any recipes. I didn't look up any recipe for remoulade sauce or
Yeah.
comeback sauce. And Tom says that the classic dressing for a po' boy is just lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Now,
You do
I
remoulade.
did. I basically found an array of condiments in my fridge, including Defo. I don't know if you can see. There's a bottle of Duke's mayonnaise there.
Oh, yeah. And
I
how
have
did you end up
Dukes
with
and
Dukes?
Helm because when it's BOGO at Publix, I buy anything because
Oh, so you're a
that's
cheapskate.
the Jew in me.
Yeah.
And I can't
You
resist
better
a good
qualify
deal.
that.
So, well, yeah, I am Jewish, so
Yeah.
but,
All right, you can get
yeah,
away with
let's.
it.
Well,
But making a remoulade
I'll
is not
offend
that hard. Shirley and I, because we used to make, I guess they were po' boys, shrimp, like fried shrimp, wraps, or we would make fried like shrimp tacos, or to make shrimp like sandwiches, I guess po' boys. So we got good at making remoulade. Like usually you probably have the stuff in your house: spicy mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, hot sauce of some kind. That usually, if you mix that right enough, that makes pretty much a remoulade.
All right. Well, I didn't go for that. I just sometimes just throw stuff together, and I will call this the Lunchbox sauce. Here it is. I put in a bowl and whisked
Oh,
together.
you whipped it together.
Uh,
Nice.
So I was going to use the Dukes because let's face it, a po' boy is a Southern thing, and Dukes is a Southern mayonnaise. Again, with me, it conjures up the name David Duke, and it always makes me shiver a little. That's not fair to the Duke's Mayo people. But then I remembered to look at the side of the bottle, and it said best if used by April 4th, 2022. So
That doesn't mean anything.
it doesn't. Okay, I took a
No,
little
no.
taste.
I mean, well, with mayonnaise, the expiration date could have been 1988, and it would
Just like a
still be usable.
suggestion.
Yeah.
I took a taste on my finger, and again, the Dukes to me it comes out a little thin and runny. I tasted it; it had a tang, and I didn't know if the tang was the original taste of it or if it went a little tangy on the south end of the expiration date. So then I went to my Hellman's.
That's not far enough, back to be worried about the expiration date.
Well, then I went to my Hellman's bottle, and,
Yeah.
and of course, my Hellman's bottle that expired only in June. So I went to the one that expired.
When it has green mold in it, that's when you start to be suspect, and you still can work your way around that.
Around the mold.
Yeah, around the mold.
So I ended up using the Hellman's because it was the June expired, and
All right.
I took a taste of it. And I've been eating it all week without any ill effects. So
You know,
I squeezed that and into this bowl of what I call now the Lunchbox sauce. I also put some sriracha, some Louisiana hot sauce.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I found a
Little
little bottle that still had some contents from our friends at Even Keel Fish Shack. They
Oh, the
make
hot
their
sauce.
own special house hot sauce, and that kind of stuff doesn't scare me. That can sit there forever because it's just vinegar and tomato. So it's probably been in my fridge over a year.
Did you put some salad dressing in there or anything?
No, well, that was the X factor.
That's like the bucket we used to have in elementary school, where everybody threw their leftovers and garbage and poured their excess milk in, and it all went into like a can in the center of the table, and it was like totally disgusting. And somebody would lose a bet, and they would have to eat it. So
Jesus.
you're a lot like me, though. You'll just throw anything that you have in the fridge in there. That's
So
good.
my
Okay.
X factor, besides the mayo, sriracha, the hot sauce from Even Keel, the Louisiana spot hot sauce, anything else I'm forgetting there?
Yeah.
No mustard. No
That's it.
ketchup.
And no mess, but I got this little bottle of magic in my
Wasabi.
fridge.
Oh,
This was
wasabi?
a wasabi sandwich sauce. That's also
Yeah,
like kind
yeah.
of a mayonnaise,
That's a lot.
soybean oil cream.
That's a lot of
based.
stuff there, Mike.
I whisked it together, Defo, and I dunked one of my
That's a lot of hot.
tater tots in it.
Oh, the tater tot you experimented
Hold
with.
on.
All right.
You
There you go.
Oh, wait.
You know,
I'll do it again.
How bad is it?
Oh,
You need
good.
like You have water standing by there, or a
Yeah,
beer, or
yeah.
something
You gotta
from
really
yesterday's
get it.
show?
Yeah.
All right, how's the sauce?
Yeah, we got to get the sauce in there. You got it?
Could,
I
would you
love
care to-
when
Would you
Lubie
give
just
out the
does.
recipe? I mean, you have to give out the quantifications of,
No,
2
that's
parts
why
this, 2 parts
recipes are
that.
for
Yep.
chumps.
Like
The,
super
the
hot.
artists, the true artists, don't measure things. They just kind of slap it
Just keep
together until it
experimenting.
tastes
You're like
right.
Emerald Lagasse here. Look at you.
Bam! It's good.
All right, so you're going to throw in smear that on the sandwich? Is that
I'm
how
gonna
you're going to
smear
work
this.
this? Okay, very good.
I'm going to smear this on
It
the
became
sandwich.
acceptable. I have some good restaurant news while you're doing that. I don't know if you
Yeah,
caught
no,
this. I sent it
go
to
ahead
you.
and share
Wow.
that. Share that. Yeah,
Wow.
I saw
I
that.
mean, this
Multitasking.
should resonate all throughout the restaurant world and make everybody that ever looked for a great breakfast happy. But according to a post yesterday on Facebook, the Cypress Nook original crew. I don't know if that includes Ilsa and
Not the owner. The owner is off vacation.
Okay.
No, I don't think when they say well, all right, we'll find out. Yeah.
It said the original crew from and all the people that made the Cypress Nook happen, which I think was the greatest breakfast spot I've
Great
ever been to in my
breakfast.
life. Absolutely outstanding. Used to be on McNabb Road and near Cypress Creek Road. And it was a classic. People would wait hours to go in there and eat breakfast. They only had like a handful of tables, very small place. And it was worth the wait, even in like schwitzing 100-degree weather while you were outside. Worth the wait on a weekend. And they would serve breakfast till like 1 o'clock, be jammed right up there until the end with people waiting to get in. And then they would serve their customers, and everybody went home happy, fat, and loving life. They're going to reopen apparently August 24th with the original crew as now part. I guess they made an agreement with the old Munchin.
Yeah, Munchin's,
yeah.
The German restaurant that's on Atlantic.
It's on Atlantic, just
Boulevard.
east
That place is
of
great, too.
Federal Highway and a little bit west. I mean, between Federal
Checkers
Highway.
Munchin. They call it.
Checkers Old Munchin, yeah, or something like that. Great German restaurant, which everybody loves. It's always packed
really
and
good.
jammed to the rafters anyway for lunch and dinner. And they're going to, I guess, overlap where they're going to have the breakfast being served and also lunch, which was a classic. And, a lot of people loved the Cypress Nook for lunch. But that's coming back, apparently, August 24th.
What?
In the old Munchin, they're going to be using that place, I guess, like leasing it out or in partnership. And that is dynamite news for anybody that likes breakfast, and a little dangerous for me because it's much more on my way to whatever it is that I venture to. And the Cypress Nook was always calling my name on my way home from work when I was driving down to the station. And I would think, well, geez, I should get something to eat. And it was always tempting to just pick up the phone, call Ilsa and the crew down there, and have them whip something up so to be ready when I got there. And I don't know how they did it. I don't know where they get their eggs from. It seemed like Rodin
These
must
eggs.
have been laying these eggs. They were unbelievable. And they just had a way of cooking and preparing everything that was absolutely fantastic. So good news. Old, what was the beginning of that? Old Munchin. It's something Old Munchin.
Munchin's
Old Munchin, I think.
Checkers Old Munchin.
Yeah.
And the address is East Atlantic Boulevard. It's near
Great
that
place.
whole corridor by Cafe Sportivo and the Daryl and Oliver.
You're the one guy in the crew that's been to the Sportivo, though. I don't have the nerve to go in
Hey, has
there.
anyone ever
I
eaten
love that place.
Somebody might realize that I have a marker out or something. I mean, and lay claim to it.
Yeah, I would definitely go in there debt free. I had a beautiful experience in there. It just brought me back. I felt like I stepped into an episode of The Sopranos, and
It really is like that.
It
Yeah.
was
No,
it
it's
was
great.
fun.
Yeah.
And have a little espresso on the sidewalk there. It's a beautiful thing.
Checkers Old Munchin, though. That's going to be. I mean,
it's going to be.
I would
hopping.
imagine they'll be jamming for the Cypress.
I
Nook
can't
return.
wait to check it out. I also put that bit of news. You texted it to me last night, and then somebody else chimed in and put it into the Let's Eat bin, and I approved it. The announcement on the Let's Eat group.
I would imagine met
84,000
with
strong.
rave, expectations.
Yeah, I didn't look back at that one yet. I was
Yeah.
too busy dealing with all the people, carping and moaning about the BJ's Brew House in Coral Springs when they go in with a group of 11 or
Oh,
whatever
that
it
complaint
was.
was about the brew house?
Yeah, BJ's Brew House, not
that
BJ's
was-
Market.
It was
Hey,
getting
what should I
trashed.
do? Should I start eating or should we?
Yeah,
do
go ahead. Scarf it down a bite and then go
Okay.
right into the commercial read there.
Hey, no. First of all, I got to give credit to Lubie and his taste buds because he steered me in the direction of instead of just going straight fried oyster po' boy to do the mix and mash, the half and half. Right? Tell everybody about your experience with the half shrimp, half oyster po' boy, Lubie. As I dig
Well, 'cause the
into
thing
it
is,
here.
fried oysters is a weird thing. Like, oysters are great, and the fried oyster is really good, but you can't eat too much of it. So the combination of the fried oyster with the consistency gets a little bit more mushy, with the consistency of the fried shrimp is like a perfect combination. And usually they give you a really good amount of remoulade with a little bit of lettuce and tomato and their bread. The bread's really good. That combination is perfect. So like that's why just oysters. I've had both. With the fact that they have the mixed, there's a reason to me. Like, and I would always ask them, like, what's the best one to get? They're like the mixed, the mixed. That's our seller. So I always respect the restaurant, and from that point on, that's my move. Anytime a restaurant has a mixed, I told Tom T, I'm like, look, oysters, I'll take it, but the mix is my favorite.
But you know what? People were carping on me on the group the other day because I did the combo corned beef pastrami sandwich from Grandpa's. And they were saying, it's overkill. Choose a side, one or the other, pastrami or corned beef. And I think Defo was saying that too the other day.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you know what? I probably wouldn't go that route. I'd be inclined to go either all one or the other.
Of course you wouldn't, because you're a man of middling taste.
No, I'm a guy that realizes that you want distinction and not necessarily just haphazardly throwing everything together like you did with that sauce, Mr. Gourmet. You're unbelievable.
No, it's a good sauce.
How's a sandwich? That's what we need to know.
Sandwich is excellent, and I took that first bite, and the first bite I got was mainly fried oysters. So, like you said, fried oysters can be a little mushy. I'm an oyster purist. I love them just cold on the half shell, and get some good fresh ones. And a lot of places today, we'll talk later in the show, are going to be celebrating Oyster Day and with various specials and just
great fried oysters, by the way, as on their own, without necessarily the po' boy concept at the Fish Shack. I don't know if you've ever had them there, but fantastic.
I have to get up there to their new location. That's one of those places. You know, I went for the first time to Papa's Raw Bar, which is it's been there 8 years. I've been to Seafood World. I loved it. I had a good time. I had a lunch with Dick Steen up there. It was kind of a business lunch, and we met the owner, Troy Gantner, and he's a really good guy. And his dad opened Seafood World back in the late 70s,
which was a sort of an iconic place on its own.
Yeah, well, it's like fish market, combination fish market, and then seafood restaurant in the back. And now Troy got expanded into the space next door and made it into kind of it's called Papa's Raw Bar, and it's more of a contemporary, kind of like a bar, less formal type restaurant setting. But they've got they have a sushi bar, so they have a full sushi menu, and they also have all these kind of little tapas style bites and shareable plates, and that swordfish bites platter with a little seaweed salad. That was like really knocked it out of the park. Outstanding little dish of well-seasoned fresh fish right off the boat. They have a fleet of people that come in. But anyway, back to this po' boy from Shuck N Dive in Fort Lauderdale, and absolutely delicious batter. It's not overwhelming. It's just like it comes off. It's got that, I don't know if it's a cornmeal batter. I would have to send it to further analysis or have Tom T take a bite. But and I splayed it with a little more of my Lunchbox sauce on the front end so to get more surface area covered. I'm going to go in for one more bite before we do my
Mike
first
Mayo
live
dives
spot.
into a combo shrimp oyster po' boy from Shuck N Dive and gives it the thumbs up. Big time here.
That one, I got a bite of each, a little shrimp and a little oyster. Terrific.
And it loses some of its impact, too, because it's not like you got it straight out of the, oven there. Yeah. So, that's saying a lot.
That's a testament to their batter because sometimes it gets mushy and just falls off. This is held up really well, and it's still got crunch. And as you can hear with my disgusting display of Lunchbox.
The ugly slobbering, I think, is what offends most of the people that watch the show.
Is the talking. I don't mind. The eating on air I've gotten used to. It's great. Defo's not wrong. The talking after the eating on air, that's like a lot.
Which you accentuate because I think you like to irritate people. I really do.
I think it's what makes it. It's the part of the gritty realism that forms the backbone of the irascible Mike Mayo, Gambling Gourmet, whatever you want to call it.
We could do a little production meeting on the air here because I actually thought it would work out if we did a thing called Food Wars, which was inspired by your Wise versus Lays. And, maybe we could take a lot of the typical arguments about what's better, this or that, or comparing places that make the same thing. And, the difficult part would be for each of us to actually get the stuff that we would need. Let's say you were going the po' boy, just for an example here, not that we would set this up because we know the winner would be Tom T. But, you have his po' boy against the Shuck N Dive, a classic one. Yeah. And, each of us would have to have one of each of the competitors' brand there and or product. And then maybe we could, end up having a Food Wars segment in every show if we could pull this off. And I think the people, they might dig that because they love that comparison stuff. Look at their response on Let's Eat South Florida to your just a simple question: Wise versus Lay's. Who cares? They're potato chips.
That was
All
my
right.
that was my take.
Oh well,
I mean, really. I mean,
like
there are
it.
a dozen other brands that people like just as well or more. So it's not really that
will,
vital what we come up with, but yet everybody was hinging, their whole day on whether or not Wise won out over Lay's, so they could be in the right category.
No, and I'm totally up for it, and so is Tom T. And we could do it to different food stuffs and different sandwiches.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
pizza
Burger
all
King,
what
slices.
it-
McDonald's. I mean,
It's
all of
just
the
the-
classic arguments we could
It's
settle
just the
them right here.
logistics of it,
All-
assembling or getting it to me in front of my mouth for the show.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't live
You
near
seem
any-
to be able to come by whatever food it is that you're looking for. It's not like
It's a pain in the ass
you're
for
afraid
me.
to go out of your way, to
No,
get something, which is
I
good.
am not. I am.
Did you
not
know this
afraid.
also, Mike Mayo, while you're on this? Because I saw like one of those memories things popped up on my own individual Facebook page.
Mhm.
And I guess it must have been 2015 that I posted it. So 7 years ago. And I'm amazed if this is true. It has to be because somehow, I mean, maybe because of the calendar year, it's not, it has to be the same day. But how did this get by Jim Sarney? Today is also, or would be, according to this post, National Mustard Day. Is that possible that we missed that?
I could look at the food calendar on the first break, but
National
usually
Mustard Day, I believe it is.
sometimes these national days don't go by the date specific, but
Every year.
sometimes
Okay.
it's like the third Wednesday
Somebody just
in
declares
August.
it. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no. They like it. Sometimes it's like the first Monday in
Okay.
August. So some years it might be August 2nd, and another.
That's
year
the
it might
one
be
thing I
August
could think,
4th.
yeah. Because how would
So,
that get by Sarney? It's impossible.
It's like National Hot Dog Day when they, even though it's really on July 4th when everybody celebrates by eating
Saturday.
hot dogs.
Sarney
It's
was
the third
waiting.
Wednesday. The third Wednesday of July is always National Hot Dog Day, where they feed Congress at the trough. And anyway,
By the way, too, I don't know if Farmer John was any good. I want to say yes, it was. Farmer John, the brand of meats from California. But, I mean, to hear Vince Scully describe a Farmer John hot dog was almost better than him calling Larson's Perfect Game. It really was. I mean, the guy made this thing sound so great. So he was also, as brilliant as he was as a baseball play-by-play guy, he was just a dynamite endorser also.
great
'Cause
pitch man.
Totally
Yeah.
believable, yeah.
So was Farmer's the one? You know what? I don't even want to.
Farmer John, I believe,
Farmer
is the
John. Was it
official
the
dog.
Dodger dog? Was it? The
I believe
Dodger dog?
the Dodger
faceless?
dogs had to be Farmer John. Had to
Okay.
be. Because they were huge
Well,
Dodger
I enjoyed
sponsors.
that, and,
Yeah.
and like I shared earlier this week, I got to meet Vin Scully like in the flesh.
Oh, I thought you meant
over at
Farmer
Dodger
John,
Dog.
man. That would be even more
No.
impressive than meeting Scully.
Hey, so you missed it yesterday, Defo.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it on the morning show, but we had a great time yesterday celebrating International Beer Day and National IPA Day yesterday with Nicky Mohan and the Visit Lauderdale crew out at Three Sons Brewing in Dania Beach. It's always fun. Next week, still TB determined, TBA, but we've got the rest of the month lined up. But next week we're going to be at someplace fun. But Dine Out Lauderdale is the sure thing that is not to be determined, because right now there are dozens and dozens of great restaurants in Greater Fort Lauderdale offering the Dine Out Lauderdale deals during August and September. It's great 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. You've got some of the top flight restaurants around town, like Evelyn's at the new Four Seasons Hotel and Residences in Fort Lauderdale on the beach, along with Dune on the beach, and also places like downtown on Las Olas Boulevard, the Wild Sea Oyster Bar and Grill, and talking about a little bit of New Orleans, Louisiana style. They got a shrimp remoulade for appetizer, along with dishes like chicken Milanese for the main course, and desserts like limoncello, mascarpone, mousse. And of course, our friend Timon and Marissa at the Catherine restaurant, they're taking part, and they've got a beautiful offerings, including their heirloom tomato and burrata salad. That's perfect for summer. Short rib with summer corn, and also some great desserts. Check out all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals, and make sure to check back every day, because more and more restaurants are being added by the day. It's going on all August and September. All these great taste sensations. You can get your taste of the good life for less. So dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals.
Excellent. All right. And it's a great program, and always great. I caught some of the show yesterday with the lovely Nicky Mohan. You guys were killing it, and it looked like the owners of that place were just dynamite. Lubie gave it a resounding thumbs up and ringing endorsement. So
That's good.
Yeah,
Lubie, I'm impressed. He's a man of taste. He's really impressed me. I mean, the crumbs were flying around a little bit as he got into some of the things like the.
Yeah.
I
The
think
stuff
the
was
shrimp
messy yesterday. What do you
taco.
want? It was
I
pizza
mean,
and the
he's
taco.
eating it from up top, and then crumbs start, falling down. But it was okay. Joe wasn't too. He wasn't too put off.
As long as he doesn't do the complete reconstruction
Flexing,
of
don't
whatever
flex.
comes to the table like he used to, that was hard to watch. It really was.
But
You're
that-
looking and thinking that's a pathetic shell of a man that's doing that right there.
It was a lot of fun, and Neki, God bless her, she just digs
She's
in.
great,
That pile of food is sitting there.
Yeah.
She cannot restrain herself. She just dives in. I wait.
Unabashed
I
enthusiasm.
I'll
yes.
wait till the first break, and but no, man, she was diving into the pizza
wings,
and those
the
dashi
wings,
wings.
Like, how do
was
you
good.
wings on there?
Yeah.
All right, we're coming back with more of Mike Mayo feeding his face there with the oyster
it is.
shrimp po' boy from Shuck N Dive in a moment on the Lunchbox.
You're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for Costas Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. If you want to take a trip to the Aegean without getting on a plane and no need for a passport, just go up to 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just a little bit north of Sample Road, and you will be transported to Greece along with a New York-style pizzeria. They do it both so well. They got Greek specialties like gyros and souvlaki and the grape leaves and the spinach pie, and also great New York thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza with pepperoni. Don't miss that one. And of course, spinach and gorgonzola. Costa is a great guy. He'll smash a plate, say Opa, and greet and treat you like family. Go to Costas. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Tell him the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you.
He's still chewing. What the hell?
Never stops there. How many of those sandwiches did you get? Like 3?
Jeez.
You're unbelievable. You only got one?
One sandwich cut in half, and it's so good. I wanted to eat half of it for my lunch today with a couple of taters.
It should just be called Mike Mayo's lunch.
That's like really what it
Because you don't leave it in the box, man. You just the whole show is you eating your lunch. It's amazing. I guess conceptually, all of these things, might be a positive. The weirder you get,
we got
the better.
viewers and sponsors. It's incredible. What a great!
It is amazing. Yeah, if we can make money doing this.
Oh, because everyone's holding their breath. Really choke? Really choke?
Well, we just don't want you to go Mama Cass on this thing, man. We're like
And
a
that's
ham
the
sandwich stuck in your esophagus here.
Well, that's the problem when we do these split screens and everybody's at their own home base.
Yeah.
If I need the Heimlich, I'm going to have to run out to my mom's health aid. And
B. Mayo will be behind you going, come on, breathe. Be great, man.
oh, man.
Yeah,
We're having some fun
All right, so you
today.
give it the thumbs up there. And, there are a couple of other places. There are not that many, like New
For the
Orleans
po' boy?
places that really sort of authenticate or whatever.
There used to be more.
replicate. There was one place, and I don't know how they did. It was on Federal Highway. It opened up when they first opened. I went there, and they
North?
didn't have their liquor license yet. It
Can't
was
be
like
a New
called
Orleans place.
might have been
without a
called
liquor
the
license.
Crab House or something. It's possible. They had like
I
a
don't know.
name that didn't sound like New Orleans, but they had New Orleans fare, and they did a decent job. But they didn't have a liquor license then. And I remember I asked if, they asked what I wanted to drink. I said, well, how about a beer? And they said, oh, for that, you have to go to the gas station, come back in. And
At
I'm
least
thinking,
they let you buy one and bring it in. That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, which, saves you a couple of bucks there. But I
there's
don't
a
know
place-
I don't know if they're doing well because, they're in a spot that had turned over a few times. So I'm not sure if they're still
Well,
around.
there was a place that had the greatest raspberry wings, and then they also had a bunch of New Orleans stuff like fried catfish, and it was just on that nook around the corner from a Calypso restaurant and from
Calypso's
your
great.
place, the barbecue joint there in Pompano, right off Cypress Road. There, why am I? Oh man,
Spanx the Hog.
No, that's the Hog, but I'm thinking of the Porky's, Shea Porky's.
Oh,
Was
Shea
the
Porky's
place.
was great. Yeah,
Shea Porky's had
they were
great
good.
wings of
Yeah.
all varieties, but they also had a portion of the menu was devoted to a lot of the
Long
Cajun
gone, I
and
think. Yeah.
oh, it went out. And then there was another couple that bought it and turned it into the original concept. They think they just I forgot what they renamed it, but the pandemic, it didn't survive the pandemic, unfortunately. So that's gone. Creolina's was a great New Orleans Cajun Creole restaurant that was downtown in Hermarche in Fort Lauderdale. Had a big following, and they had a waitress who. Oh, I should know her name too, but she was like renowned. Everybody loved going.
Did you get her
to
number?
Creolina's.
That's the question. Did you get her number?
And
Never
then there was
mind
a
her
place,
name. You can come up with that later.
and then there was a place out west on University, I think, called Rosie Babies, and they used to have the crawfish boils there, but that's gone. So, like you said,
What happened to Bo Camper's place on Los Alamos? Whatever happened with that? I think you
reviewed
gave it a somewhat tepid review,
Mayo's
and
slammed.
I remember Bo Camper was going to crush your skull or something. But
well,
I don't know.
I got ambushed on the Castanovo show. I didn't realize that Bo was in studio, and they
Oh,
called
yeah?
me up,
Oh, nice.
and the review had just appeared. It was what we call the tepid, mediocre, 2.5-star review that was trying to be kind, but and they had some decent dishes. But I think it's a look. I love Bo Camper.
Is it still
but-
there? Is it still?
No. They rejiggered it now. I mean, the place is still there. I think it was called the Balcony when it first opened. I
Yes.
don't know what they're calling it now, but the concept was on the top. It was like a French Quarter style bar where they have
sort
the
of
Rhode
upscale
Island-
too, right?
Yeah, upstairs bar was nice, and they had this kind of balcony area where it was a wrought iron, and you felt like you were on Bourbon Street. Downstairs, it was like a full scale kitchen with the things like the jambalaya and the andouille sausage. I think the strategic area that he went awry is when you're trying to open a Cajun Creole restaurant. Hiring a British chef is not necessarily the best move. It was
Yeah.
a British chef in there who
That's a
I
weird
think he
move.
hired him for some cruise ship, but I don't know how much experience he had with New Orleans and Cajun food, and just didn't necessarily work for
Didn't
me.
take
And,
off, huh?
yeah. So, this place is still there, but yeah, no, it seems like anytime somebody tries to open a Cajun Creole place, it's a little bit challenging. And I know one that opened on Hallandale Beach Boulevard like last year, and it came and gone within 2 months. It was something called Nick's or something like that. So, I guess I don't know why it's such a tough sell. Because people seem to like jambalaya
love
and
it.
gumbo and red beans and rice, and so I
Especially
do
po' boys.
appreciate that Shuck N Dive is there, especially during crawfish season, because they always have good buckets of crawdads. And of course, Tom T. Now he's been open a year. Congrats to him for 1 year of doing his thing and his
Crawfish
passion.
at
And love.
Cafe is freaking great. I love
Yeah,
crawfish at
it's
Cafe.
good. Hey, you know what? Let's give a couple of kind words about Shenanigans. It's a Shenanigans Friday as we head into the weekend, and as the preseason football starts heating up, and the degeneracy and people who bet on preseason football. I don't understand that kind of creature. Even though I will
You
bet on.
didn't unload on the Hall of Fame game yesterday? by our recommendation?
Well, I understand that you gave out 2
Hey,
tips.
Rob.
on the
Jacksonville in
game.
the under. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and-
parlay.
And so
The negative
you're-
parlay.
I
Yeah.
guess you're in charge of the make.
They're going to
America-
lose big, though. It's the same
big,
principle you hear in sports. Like, I'd rather get blown out than lose a nail biter by a point. And I think just the opposite. I mean, you'd like to have a shot to win, but there was no shot here. I mean, and we did it via no logic whatsoever.
Well, that's the best way, right?
Yeah.
Just go with your.
The
And,
under, I thought, was a promising bet. I would have gone
Please
with
don't
that
start
no matter what.
analyzing
gonna
preseason
do it right
football
now.
bets because
You
Nobody
do
ever
this-
scores in a Hall of
it's
Fame
like,
game.
why
They
don't you
don't
just
care
bet
about
on
scoring.
2 iguanas racing across the street or something?
I've done
like
that.
It's
I
just-
have done that.
100%.
I'll be
Up a
doing
tree,
that later.
you got to factor in tree climbing in
The
that
size,
event also.
the
Yeah.
age.
Squirrels. Which squirrel is going to get the
It's like a
nut
steeplechase for iguanas. It's
first?
unbelievable.
Or
Yeah.
or the $8,000 claimers at Gulfstream.
Yeah.
I guess that's like betting on iguanas or cockroaches.
Well,
too.
we
But
buried
anyway.
we buried our adoring fans yesterday.
Well, of
They
course,
followed our
because
advice, yeah.
there are people who are MAGA, but you're MABA, which is Make America Broke Again. So thanks for doing your part.
Well, we told everybody proceed with the most extreme of cautions. I mean, if you're going to unload, but if you just couldn't help yourself, if you're that sick of a degenerate that you had to have some action on this game, we threw out the absurd, which was Jacksonville, who's horrible, winning the game, and turned out this guy made a very eloquent case for the Raiders having added incentive because Josh McDaniels, their new head coach, went to that high school that's behind the Hall of Fame Stadium field there, which it isn't really a stadium. They play it out like just in a field somewhere, I
Yeah.
think, in Ohio. Have you been to the Hall of
Seen
Fame game? I would imagine you covered some Hall of Fame induction
I have
ceremonies.
not. I have not been to Canton, Ohio for a Hall of Fame game. I think I passed through and actually been to the Hall of Fame once, but it wasn't in relation to any work thing. I just kind
All
of
right.
stopped in. So,
It looks
missed
like
that.
Chris Berman would know where to eat in Canton when you see him doing the intros and the
I don't
the
know. I would.
speeches there.
Do they have a Skyline Chili there? in Canton?
They probably
Might
do.
be-
Yeah,
That might be the best of the lot, which isn't saying much, but
That's considered gourmet there in Canton,
yeah,
Ohio.
no.
What was
So
going on?
anyway, Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yes, great
Yeah,
sports. bar.
Shenanigans. We love Pat, and big month for them. It's August, and they are celebrating 30 years. The original
wow, Mazel tov.
Shenanigans location across from TY Park, where Defo and his son used to hang out in the early days. Again, that's right across from TY Park on Sheridan Street and Park Road. They opened in August of '92, so they are celebrating 30 years at both locations this month. I mean, the anniversary celebration. The East Side location came later. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. That's my local, and you could get all kinds of great stuff. They got the blackened wings, they have the barbecue menu there on the east side. They have great burgers. They have fresh fish every day, the fish tacos and the fish sandwiches. I had a tremendous yellowtail snapper the last time I was in. Pat Utter and crew, they know how to get it done. Late night food, daily specials, drink specials, the drive-through window on the east side. So for the 30th anniversary later this month, they're going to celebrate on August 20th. It's the preseason Dolphins game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me make sure I have the date right if I get my calendar up, but it's that Saturday night. I believe it's the 20th of August, and let's just double check that. And indeed it is. And so at the game kickoff time is 7 o'clock that night. If you come in wearing Dolphins paraphernalia, a shirt, a hat, they will give you a free either a drink from it's a new craft brewery down in Wynwood is making a special Dolphins craft brew, or you can get a shot of the special orange Jamesons that they're going to be giving out. So complimentary drinks and some other merchandise, part of the whole big celebration at Shenanigans. That's again August 20th around 7 o'clock. Get there before kickoff to get your freebies, and tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you.
Very fond memories of my early days there. So I was still hoisting basketballs at like 41 then, if they opened up 30 years ago. And it seems like yesterday, but always a good vibe there. Tremendous service. The people made you feel very comfortable. Great place to watch sports as well. And as you said, with a little bit of a degenerate gene that emanates from Patrick Utter, they almost always will accommodate you if you want to punch away on the horses, which
He likes the
is among
ponies.
my
He'll put
favorite things.
TVG on if you
Good
need
burgers there, too. Good burgers
Excellent,
at
excellent.
Shenanigans. Man, they're great. All right, more of the lunchbox. Did you finish that thing, or are you still working on it, Mike Mayo?
No, I'm going to
Maybe
just
you can
eat half of
chomp
it,
out to a break
and
here
I've
and,
got this much, and I'm going to coat it with my Lunchbox sauce. And
All
then,
right, good.
we'll go
As
from
Mike
there.
Mayo dines on his shrimp oyster po' boy that he picked up at Shuck N Dive, we'll be back with more in a moment.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. Then there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauder Deals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. And we're back. I finally polished off the half of the po' boy that had shrimp and fried oysters, and I just have a tater tot in my mouth, and I know everybody is absolutely repulsed, but that's okay. It's almost the weekend. You could start drinking soon. And
It's like watching somebody who's mentally challenged having lunch this show. It really is.
Meanwhile, time flies. The good part of that sandwich.
I like the way you just kind of skipped over that, like you were Belichick. Somebody asked you, "What about these deflated footballs?" Yeah,
moving forward. Yeah. No, what I liked about the sandwich is because the batter was nice and crunchy, but
how was the bread? That's the key for you.
That's the thing is like it was soft. It was, and that's the perfect compliment. When you have the crunchy battered thing, you want a softer roll. So it was a good soft hoagie roll. Usually I like kind of a hefty, crunchier roll when you have melted cheeses and soft meats. So it's all about the playing back and forth on the textures. So job well done by the folks there at Shuck N Dive in Fort Lauderdale. I never got to the whole Dolphins schedule. We're down to we got to take one more break. But again, the Dolphins. I wanted to run down the schedule. Just
keep going as if everything was running smoothly.
All 17
running
games?
Smoothly. Yes.
Like I'm trying to fit a 10-minute square peg into a 3-minute round hole.
Pretty much.
But I'm just gonna chill. It's okay.
We majored in this.
So you want to do all 17 games?
No,
you're going to go do the whole schedule?
Half of them are home.
The preseason,
real quick. Okay, no, we already talked about the only preseason road game was Tampa Bay. But then we've got regular season at Baltimore. You go to like O'Bricky's Crab House, I would say. Then you got at Cincinnati, September 29th.
You're not going to Skyline Chili. Come on.
Yeah, 100% going to Skyline.
What was the name of the steakhouse? Some guy has a steakhouse there.
There's a Montgomery Inn. Montgomery Inn on the river.
It's got like a guy's name, and he's got other restaurants. Pretty sure, in Cincinnati, he started
Tony something or other.
Possible. He might have. I think he has a place in Lexington also. Very famous.
Oh, right. Okay. Then I know who you're talking about, but the name escapes me because my brain doesn't work today. At New York Jets. Where do you go?
Wow, where are you going to New York?
Do you stay in New Jersey? Do you go into Manhattan? There's just too many choices.
What would be the one place you felt you had to go if you were going to a New York restaurant?
Man,
you like Peter Luger's in Brooklyn.
I do
like Luger's, but I also, if you don't want to go that far from New Jersey, go right across the tunnel, and then the Wolfgang's Steakhouse is in the city, or Keen's. You know what? Keen's is in Midtown. It's a classic steakhouse, and they're known for their mutton chops, and it's a place that's had a bit of a renaissance. And they also, Teddy Roosevelt used to hang out there, and it's a place that was known for a lot of people who smoke corncob pipes. Would hang out there, and they have a whole corncob pipe collection mounted on the walls. So Keen's Steakhouse in New York.
What about Chinese? You're going to Wohop? Is that your?
Just forget the Chinese. We got to move on. Detroit. Where are we going in Detroit? I don't know where I'm
Chinese food in New York with you, Mayo.
Because I don't have enough time. Detroit. I have no idea. Like M&M opened that drive-through spaghetti, the mom's spaghetti.
I think I'll pass on that. Yeah.
Shula's had a steakhouse up in Detroit, and I remember eating.
They must have some decent restaurants. I mean,
they do, but
I'll have to check with Grant Long next time he's on the show.
They have a big Greek town, Greek community in Detroit. Yeah. I didn't really spend much time in Detroit, and so I can't give you any answers there. Chicago, though, that's a great restaurant town.
Where are you going?
Chicago, November 6th.
Gibson's.
I do love Gibson's. That's a classic steakhouse, and I used to always go there. But Girl and the Goat is one of those trendy places. A really nice chef.
What's the place they charge you like $700 for like dinner for two?
That's the Grant Aschutz's place. It was called Alinea, but he's closed that, and I think he has another place now. I'm kind of out of touch with the.
My son went there. He likes his wife likes this high end stuff.
What do they call it? A molecular gastronomy, where it's all they're playing with their food.
He said it was worth it. I mean, he's unlike me. He said it was worth it.
Sure, it's excellent. Yeah, but, good for him. No, I would check it out. I mean, he's very, very talented. Okay, then we go. Then it's the back-to-back West Coast at San Francisco,
I mean,
and then at LA. And I don't
Oof.
even know where to begin. But in San Francisco, there's a place called Zuma Cafe. I love it. That's they have the classic. They have what's called a bread chicken, and it's like it's a it's basically a roasted chicken over a salad with like panzanella bread, the croutons. It's one of the classic dishes. I love that place. I would go to Zumi Cafe, and then in L.A., Defo, where would you go in L.A. if you
Wow,
had
I
this
don't
one
know, man.
restaurant?
It's been a long time since I've been there. There used to be tremendous restaurants there all over the place. I mean, the hoity-toity types are going to Spago's, I guess. I've never been there. I don't think it was around when
That's so
I
30
lived in
years
L.A.
ago,
Yeah, but
40 years ago.
you know what I
Wow.
like? Believe it or not, I like that railroad car that's on Sunset Boulevard that they turned into a hot dog stand. That place
Nice.
is great.
There you
And it
go.
was a big Elmer Dills, one of the great food critics of all time. Maybe the signature guy in the industry who wrote for the L.A. Times for years and had a great radio show which inspired this show. Elmer Dills loved that train car. I forget it was called Carney's.
There you go. All right.
Carney's
Well,
in
there
Los
you go.
Angeles.
Carney's
Yeah,
in L.A. and the original
yeah.
Matsuhisa, which
Great
became Nobu.
chili
That's one of my
burger,
places.
chili
And
burger.
then we
I mean,
got Buffalo
Hey,
is the Anchor Bar, and New England, I don't know, what do we call legal seafood? Okay, we got to
hey,
go. One
that's
more
it.
break. Yep. No, well, we got to take one more break, and then we're going to be out of here, and then it's the
All
weekend.
right,
Then you don't
sounds
have
good
to
to me.
watch me eat ever again until Monday.
Well, and then I can go get a $500 hot dog at the track.
There you
It'll
go.
be great.
All right, we'll be back after these words to wrap up the lunchbox. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style. A pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754 779 7788. 754 779 7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back here on the Lunchbox. There goes another week. What do you think of my sandwich choice today, Defo? Was it
Good,
interesting enough
strong.
for you?
Yeah, yeah.
finish
I
Strong?
mean,
strong. Last
it's
2 days.
unfortunate you had to make your own sauce. I'm not sure that you got the same impact that you would if you had gotten the standard sauce that they would put on it there. I
It
don't know
was
why that
fine.
happened,
I
but
enjoyed it.
you did
It
well.
worked
I
for
mean,
me.
and you're stepping up your game. You're way light years ahead of where you were earlier in the week.
The last 3 days were strong. The
You came out of the
combo
chute
days, I
like
went to
Silky Sullivan. Bad.
Nobody
Ducks
Yeah.
on
liked the
TV
public sub.
yesterday.
All right, $6.99. I figured give people a break there. All right, so that's going to do it for this week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back Monday with more sandwiches all week next week for Sandwich Week. Keep chiming in with your suggestions. I know we're going to be hitting a chicken parm at some point. We're going to get a Tom T. Muffaletta from New Orleans and all kinds of goodies. So for Jeff Defo DeForest, I'll see you later today, Defo.
Very
And for
nice.
Mike Lubie Lubitz, hopefully I'll see you when your the youth league team finally craps out. But and then we'll settle all debts at Tropical Acres Steakhouse. So until next week, this is Mike Mayo saying have a great weekend and remember to enjoy every po' boy sandwich.